goes a little something like this. Fuck the police coming straight out the underground. A young nigga got his bag cause I'm proud. And I'm the undercover, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. Fuck that shit cause I ain't the one.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tehdead, and I'm going to talk to you about password phishing. Password phishing basically has two parts to it. You have your mechanics, your HTML, your Java, and your PHP. Then you have your social engineering, how you're actually going to get your victim to unknowingly log in and submit his or her user login info. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to find a site that's at your difficulty range. If you're beginning, I'd choose a simple site. And for this, we are going to choose a simple WordPress login. I'm going to do infinityexist.com for my site. First thing I'm going to test is I want to figure out how it does error handling, like if you have the wrong password and it comes up as a little red box. So we're going to view the source code. As you can see, we have our form. Redirect to is going to come in handy in a little while. And we're going to save the page. Close that. We'll open it up in Dreamweaver. You can use whatever you'd like to. And as you can see, we don't have the error box. That's because the error box was added after dynamically. So we'll just add it in ourselves, refresh, and then you can see it. Now if you ever use vBulletin or similar for your forms, you know that they need to be logged in to view certain content. And that's the theme I'm going to use for this phishing site. Now we need to change the action because our page isn't going to be on their server, obviously, so we need to have a full address so it gets sent right. We're also going to change the type submit to a regular button, and then we're going to use onClick to call a function, which we will get into in a minute. As you can see, redirect to. Now this first method we're going to talk about is the pop-up style. When I make a phishing site, I make it actually log into the original server. That's why we completed the address for the login PHP. That helps with the social engineering because people aren't as scared or suspicious of a site that actually logged them in fully. We're going to make two strings, user and password, and form.userlogin.value is the input for the username, and same with pass. Now we're going to use window.open to open up a new browser. URL name options. We don't know the URL completely yet because we haven't got that far. We're just going to name it ls popup. And then we will do height equals, width equals, location equals, and status equals, and resizable equals. Now you can either use yes, no, 0, or 1 to enable or disable any of your options. Location equals is the address bar, status equals is like your progress bar, and resizable obviously doesn't allow the person to change the size of the box. Now on click, we're going to call login stealer, the function we made, and this .form is going to put the ID or the name into form. So form.userlogin. You could have just used the name of the form. Now we're going to use document.loginForm, which is .submit, and then that's the name of the form. Now what that's going to do is after we open our new browser window, it's going to actually submit the login form to the InfinityExist server. Now this is my login stealer. It's pretty much just a modified cookie catcher. I use user and pass. to get the user and pass from the address. Now I went around and searched for an ad, and I got a Netflix ad. And this just helps make your pop-up look authentic if there's something actually there. Now, if we just did it this way and our window.open worked correctly and it opened the new browser, people would be able to look at everything, maybe click around. They got a little suspicious. No, we don't want that. So we're going to use a function, lsClose, which is just a function I'm building. We're going to use window.close. What that's going to do is it's going to close the window. Now, if we just leave it like that, it's going to look even more suspicious because it's going to flash a pop-up window, then close it. So we're going to use set timeout. That looks like function name and then times in milliseconds. What we're going to do is we're going to call the lsClose after 4 seconds. Then to start it on load, we're going to go to body in the attribute of body on load, and then we'll call our function. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to do the height and the width so we can make our browser look right. So 500 by 450. Another thing about the status option, any Mozilla browser forces the status bar to be enabled, so you can't disable that. So if you're using Foxfire, it'll show all the time. But most people use Internet Explorer anyway. So we'll get the link of our login stealer, and we will finish URL, user equals, and then plus our user string. Same thing for our pass. If it sounds like I'm rushing, that's because this video is already done and this is a voiceover, but you get the concept. Okay, now we'll upload that and set our properties. I'm not really sure if you need to set full properties, but I do because it was a quick video. Okay, as you can see, you need to be logged in. The page is on my site, and we'll try a login. Click login. As you can see, our pop-up came up. It went away, and we're logged in. If we go back and we refresh, we can see WP Logins is where I was having it save it to, and it worked. That's method 1. Method 2 is my more favorite, is an iframe. This is even better because no one suspects anything. They can't see what's going on. Kind of like using it for like XSS or something like that. So we're going to make a new function, lssubmit, because if we submit it just after we change our iframe location, which we'll get to in a minute, it will just submit the form and it won't actually wait long enough for the iframe to load. Especially if somebody has a really crappy internet, it'll actually skip our login stealing process, which is not good for us. So we're going to set everything to 0. Notice we didn't set a source because we don't want it to load until we actually have the user and the password inputted. Now we'll do change the address of the iframe or the location. We're just going to use lsframe.location and then the address. Now what this will do is when they click on the login button, it sends them to login still like it did before, but this time it's going to do